In this video, I am going to show you two methods of making crispy, tasty fries baked in the oven. The first method, we shall boil the potatoes first before putting them in the oven. And the second method, we shall not parboil the potatoes. Then at the end of this video, we are going to see which method is more efficient. I took 4 big potatoes. I went for the waxy potatoes, but the floury one will work as good. Then cut them into stripes. I went for about half an inch, not too thin, not too thick. Remember, the potatoes tend to shrink a bit when baking in the oven. Quickly dry your potatoes with a kitchen paper. Remember, water is the enemy of crispness. And since our goal is crispy potatoes, please do not miss this step. Add 4 tablespoons of peanut oil. I'll explain later in the video why I choose peanut oil. Mix everything with your hands so that the chips are fully coated with the oil. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt at this stage. Then arrange the chips in a single layer on the tray, ensuring that they are not touching each other. We want the steam to have room to escape, and that means more crispier potatoes. Cover that with a foil, which will help to cook the chips in their own steam. Place it in the oven and bake for 20 minutes before removing the foil. After about 20 minutes, remove the foil. Look at that steam. This was helping the potatoes to cook. Now place the potatoes again in the oven and cook for another 10 minutes. After the time is up, turn the fries to give the downside a chance to dry up. Align them back beautifully in a single layer so that the steam can escape in the oven. Then put it back in the oven and bake again for about 10 minutes or until they are golden brown and crispy. I did put mine at the upper rack so that it can get even crispier, but only for the last 5 minutes. Set a paper towel into a bowl, put in the fries and immediately add some salt, not too much. Remember, we had seasoned our fries before. I did have a few bites and these potatoes are really crispy, but we will be comparing these to our parboiled potatoes, which will be our second method. Add 1 tablespoon of vinegar and not more than that, and a 1/4 teaspoon salt, and bring it to a boil and cook for 8 minutes. When the time is up, pour the potatoes into a strainer and let the excess steam evaporate for a couple of minutes. You see, the vinegar helps the potatoes to hold their shape and you don't need to worry about them breaking. After adding your potatoes into a baking tray, dry them using a kitchen paper. Remember, we already said that water is the enemy of crispness. Time to add 4 tablespoons of peanut oil. I am going for peanut oil because it helps our fries to crisp faster. That means less time in the oven because it has a higher percentage of saturated fats. Peanut oil is readily available, and by the way, it has a very neutral flavor, just like sunflower oil. After a good coat with the oil, same tips as before, time to arrange them and making sure that they are not overcrowded and they are not touching each other. On a preheated oven, 230 degrees, bake for 15 minutes. This method of parboiling the potatoes work very fast. As you can see, the potatoes are starting to brown, but not overly crispy. It's time to give them a flip before you bake them again for another 15 minutes. If at this stage they look dry, please add some oil. After exactly 15 minutes, same process, absorb the excess oil using a kitchen towel and immediately add some salt. Now, which method is efficient? Remember, for both recipes, I did cut the potatoes in the same shape and size, and I used peanut oil. The truth is, both fries are crispy. The difference is the one that I pre-boiled took less time in the oven. I only needed 30 minutes, which left the fries more fluffier on the inside and very crispy on the outside. And the one that I did not parboil took about 45 minutes to cook and ended up being a bit dry to my liking. Yes, they are crispy, but they are not so moist on the inside. I would go for the parboiled potatoes for the very best results. Eat your fries immediately when they are still hot before they lose their crisp and get soggy. We have really worked for this crispiness.